told NBC News last month that he would not seek charges against the boy because of his age and inability to properly understand the legal system. But he did say he was still deciding whether to hold any adults criminally liable.
And then in entertainment news,
what the hell is going on with Twitter's verification checks? That's what many are wondering, since Twitter said it would be ending its legacy blue check verification come April 1st, meaning people who got those checks to verify that they're a real person or an organization of note would be losing them. And instead, if you want a blue check mark, whether you're Joe Schmo or Beyonce, you got to pay for Twitter Blue. But come April 1st, those people didn't lose their blue checks. Instead, what was different was the labels associated with it. Because you used to be able to click a check to see if a person paid for Twitter Blue or if they were a legacy verified account. But now the line's blurred and all verified people have the same blur, saying this account is verified because it's subscribed to Twitter Blue or is a legacy verified account. Right? So it doesn't tell you which is which, so you could be looking at the real Tom Hanks or a troll Tom Hanks. You figure it out. But as far as why legacy users didn't lose their checks and instead we got this weird blurb, well, there's been a lot of speculation, with some saying Twitter straight up realized the only value of Twitter Blue is duping people into thinking it's a legacy check mark after Elon said he was eliminating legacy blue check marks. And outlets like the Washington Post reporting that it might be because removing the checks would require extensive manual work. Also, you had a now deleted tweet, Elon Musk himself saying the platform is giving these users a few weeks of grace. That is, unless they say they will not be paying for Twitter Blue, in which case Twitter will just strike it, which seems to explain what happened to the New York Times, kinda. Because the New York Times was officially one of the first accounts to lose its check, where the outlet previously said it would not pay for verification, something that costs a regular person around $8 per month to start. But notably, organizations would have to spend $1,000 a month for theirs, and then there's other fees for all the people that work for them. And so you had the New York Times and other major outlets saying, thanks, but no thanks, we're not going to be paid. But again, as of recording, the only account to actually lose their check was the New York Times. And that notably coming after someone shared a meme with Musk about how the Times didn't want to pay, to which Musk replied, okay, we'll take it off then. But also stripping the Times of its check clashes with an announcement Twitter made on Friday saying, actually, the top 10,000 followed companies won't need to pay for verification. No $1,000 monthly fee necessary, we'll just hand over that shiny gold check. And with 55 million followers, the New York Times could easily make that cut, but, you know, Musk. And that's not speculation. I mean, he went on this big anti-New York Times rant as well. And so now, in response to all this, you've seen tons of big names chiming in on whether they're going to pay for verification or not. LeBron James saying he won't be spending money on Twitter Blue. Jack Black saying he doesn't know if he'll keep his because it's definitely not cool to pay for it. Chris Pratt likewise saying he's torn, explaining, I care deeply about all of my followers. I'll do whatever I have to do to stay a part of their lives because I respect their attention and I love to use it as an opportunity to talk to them when I'm doing movies and stuff. And then you have large creators like Moist Critical, not specifically saying in this tweet, you know, what the plans are regarding his check, but slamming Twitter's new changes, saying,
what is the value of even being verified on Twitter? Well, I think the answer is nothing. I think there is absolutely no value in being verified on Twitter.
But of course, he did note upcoming changes regarding the perks of verification, including the fact that starting April 15th, only verified users along with people you follow will show up in the For You timeline, right? Which key thing, it's going to be harder for non-verified users to spread their reach. But with the chaos at Twitter, who knows if this is going to change, because you have Musk saying one thing and then going like, oh, I actually forgot to mention another thing. And it feels less like we're all on like this established website and more like everyone became beta testers. But yeah, time will tell.
And then,
one of the biggest pieces of entertainment news, it looks like the WWE's Vince McMahon's gonna get a lot richer. And that's because shortly after coming out of retirement last year to sell the platform, he made a deal with UFC's parent company, Endeavor. And this new merged company is gonna be publicly listed, and it's worth $21 billion, with Endeavor shareholders getting 51% of the company and WWE shareholders getting 49%. The new company will reportedly be run by Ariel Emanuel, the current CEO of Endeavor, who said of the deal, this is a rare opportunity to create a global live sports and entertainment pure play built for where the industry is headed. And the deal will also have McMahon staying on a little bit longer, which is likely to be a controversial move, right? Because the WWE recently had to revise years of financial statements to include nearly $20 million in hush money payments that McMahon made to silence infidelity and sexual assault allegations. Which, of course, with these stories, I like to ask everyone their opinions, but specifically, if you are a fan of the WWE, old school, new school, whatever. What are your thoughts on the news today and McMahon specifically? As well as for UFC fans, what are your thoughts with this? There's already been some built-in crossover with the likes of Brock Lesnar in the past, Ronda Rousey. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you on this one.
in business news,
Yo, Credit Suisse just can't stay out of the headlines right now. With this time, Swiss prosecutors looking into its buyout deal with UBS. Right, Swiss authorities approved the deal insanely fast, with prosecutors indicating that they're looking into government employees and at least 2 bank execs. And they're especially interested in how certain parts of the negotiations were leaked to the press, saying that such a leak might constitute revealing state secrets. Additionally, lawmakers are moving to implement a government panel to also investigate the deal, as the merger sparked a major outcry among voters. All of this puts pressure on UBS, the bank that bought Credit Suisse, although it was already likely facing a ton of pressure, not only from the backlash of the merger, but also because it's looking to lay off 30% of its workforce, which maybe it's a bad look to spend billions of dollars when apparently you need to lay off so many damn people.
And then
police drove hundreds of miles to seize a little girl's pet goat. Right, so last June, a 9-year-old girl in California had taken her goat Cedar to the fair for a livestock auction, a place place where the animals are bid on and the highest bidder takes it home and slaughters it for meat. But after Cedar won a $902 bid, the girl changed her mind about sending the animal to die and refused to leave the goat's side. And before any money was given, the mother and the girl looked into terminating the contract, with the mother saying she'd pay the amount to the fair that they would have made from the sale, just over $60, and they took the goat home. And expecting complications, they took it to a farm about 200 miles away. And over the next few days, the fair threatened to charge the mother with felony grand theft if she didn't return the goat. So the mom offered to pay the full amount and even got the support of the man who was trying to buy Cedar. But still, the fair wouldn't budge, instead saying, "Please understand the fair industry is set up to teach our youth responsibility and for the future generations of ranchers and farmers to learn the process and effort it takes to raise quality meat. Making an exception for you will only teach youth that they do not have to abide by the rules that are set up for all participants." And so then, two officers with a search warrant, they go out to find the goat, and when he wasn't where they first went, they drive to a secondary property and they seized him despite that address not being listed on the warrant. And so now the mom's filed a lawsuit against the officers alleging violations of the 4th and 14th Amendments and seeking damages. And actually, in an amendment, the family added the county as well as the fair and event center to the suit. Now, as far as Cedar, no one officially knows for sure what happened, but the family's attorney says they believe Cedar to have been slaughtered. And so I guess I'm sorry this story did not have a happy ending. Also, I'm all for like an agreement's an agreement, but this is like the guy doesn't even want the goat. It's like a weird power trip trying to pose as a life lesson.
And then, for any of you focused on getting your business off the ground, creating a place to share your homemade goods, new favorite hobby, current obsession, or even a personal blog to get all those thoughts out of your head, I got a great solution for you, and it comes from our fantastic partner and sponsor of today's show, Squarespace. And I've been partnering with Squarespace for years now, and I have to say, it's just so easy. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever, and creating a beautiful website with Squarespace's all-in-one platform has never been so simple. It's incredibly intuitive and easy to use. And with their mobile-optimized websites, your content automatically adjusts so it looks great on any device. Plus, with Squarespace, you get access to all their marketing tools and analytics and their award-winning customer care team via email or live chat 24/7. So go check it out, see why so many others love it, see why it's going to be perfect for you, and start your free trial today over at squarespace.com/Phil. When you realize you love it, make sure you enter an offer code Phil to get 10% off your first purchase. Then in political news,
he'll be arraigned in Manhattan on Wednesday, Sydney time, Tuesday night, New York time, becoming the first former president to face criminal charges. He's released a video message addressing his indictment.
We are now officially a third world country.
They have left us with no choice. They have declared, quote unquote, the Roman Civil War.
Let's be clear, folks. This is like communist level shit.
To the conservatives out there, make sure you vote. If you got friends, make sure they vote. If you don't have any friends, go make some friends.
As I'm sure you've heard by now, Donald Trump has officially been indicted, with this making him the first ex-president to face criminal charges in American history. And while right now the indictment remains sealed, we know from sources that there are more than 30 counts relating to business fraud, including at least one felony. And all this stemming from Trump's alleged involvement in a scheme to silence adult film star Stormy Daniels with hush money payments back in 2016. Now, he's almost certainly in New York by the time that you're seeing this, and on Tuesday, he'll be reporting to a Manhattan courtroom for his booking and arraignment, with all of that raising a lot of questions about whether he's going to be treated like any other alleged criminal or he's going to get special treatment. With that, he likely won't be in handcuffs since he'll be surrounded by armed federal agents anyways. And it's also unclear if they're going to take a mugshot of him since everyone already knows his face and authorities are concerned that these photos could be improperly leaked. And then after booking, instead of being held in a jail cell near the courtroom before his arraignment like other defendants, he'll be taken through a back set of hallways and elevators to the floor where the courtroom's located, and then he'll come out to a public hallway to walk into the courtroom. At which point the indictment will be unsealed, Trump will be formally charged, and most likely he will be released, though he might have restrictions on his travel. And as far as how this is expected to play out, he's expected to plead not guilty, continuing to deny he had any sexual relationship or that there was any wrongdoing with Daniels. And on Tuesday night, he plans to give a speech at Mar-a-Lago, which is probably going to be what you expect it to be. But so far, you have sources saying that he remains surprisingly calm and focused, just playing golf at his resort, posting on social media and texting allies, which makes sense. I don't know the last time that Donald Trump was actually held accountable for anything. And throughout most of this, I think like a lot of people, I've been kind of like, I'm not going to hold my breath. And of course, with this, you do have some speculating that this benefits him politically. I mean, the first post-indictment poll shows that Donald Trump is leading DeSantis for Republican support by 26%, which is up 8 points from 2 weeks ago, with just about every Republican, including DeSantis himself, slamming the indictment and rallying behind Trump, as well as 79% of the GOP rank and file saying that the indictment was politically motivated. Plus, you got the Trump campaign saying on Friday that it raised over $4 million in the first 24 hours after the news of the indictment broke. But at the same time, you have people saying, while this may help Trump in the primaries, it won't necessarily have the same effect in the general, with some arguing that it could just be like the midterms where the most extreme candidates sweep their nominations and then they get trounced in the general because they're unelectable. But on the other hand, have people forgotten about 2016, where you had people literally saying the same thing? Oh, the unelectable guy got the nomination. Guess the GOP is going to have to do some soul searching. Oh, he won. one. But, you know, there is a concern from some that this supercharges and mobilizes his hardcore base, or the people who view him as like the God King. Which, I mean, on that note, we saw some jaw-dropping reactions to the statement, with groups like the New York Young Republicans Club writing, "President Trump embodies the American people, our psyche from id to superego, as does no other figure. His soul is totally bonded with our core values and emotions, and he is our total and indisputable champion." And then on the other side, for the most part, you have top Democrats kind of quiet on the news, seeming